Ethan Klein and Anisa Joma, Idubbb's wife, have been going back and forth on Twitter after Anisa screenshotted an old comments that Ethan left on one of her posts last year, praising her and saying that people online can't truly understand her and Idubb's relationship. After Anisa posted this, Ethan responded back, pointing out that actually this makes her look bad because he was just trying to be a good friend, ignoring what the people online were saying, but now conceding that they were right and he was incorrect about Anisa. She also then went on to tweet about Creator Clash, responding to Ludwig's comments, which we covered in our last video, saying that ticket sales were already abysmal before the content cop came out, and that's actually not the reason the event failed. Instead, pointing out that they were promised things they weren't given, and it was her mistake in the first place to even try to run a new Creator Clash after the second one. And at the end of this video, Anisa also calls Ethan ugly, and he responds back by speculating that her and Ian will be divorced by the end of the year. Welcome to the internet versus Anisa Joma and Ethan Klein. It starts when Anisa tweets this out with an emoji, and it is an old comment from Ethan from a few years back. And for context, we'll show the post first and then Ethan's reply. Anisa says this is from 2024 on this post, by the way, and it's Anisa posting on her Instagram story a YouTube comment from a normal guy saying, "Anisa, I'm not controlling." Anisa speaks the entire time, only lets Idubb speak when prompted to self-flagellate for her own pleasure. "You should have listened to your mother and got the fuck away from her. You are in a toxic and abusive relationship. Get the fuck out of there. Save yourself. You can do a lot better. Divorcing her is worth the hit. It is better to be free and in a healthy relationship with someone else rather than being rich and with someone who is abusing you for her own pleasure." And in March 23rd, 2024, Anisa said, "I just want people to see this at this point. It's been 7 years and I'm exhausted. I'm alone right now at home and I'm just not built for this. I'm a human being. I can't even post on social media anymore. This used to be my job. I didn't even know it was possible to be hated this much as a person. I feel like I'm a special type of terrible. It never gets better." And then back to the original post, Ethan Klein commented on this back in 2024, saying, "People see an hour-long podcast and think they completely understand you and your relationship, even for the internet. People have been particularly nasty to you. It can feel so painful to be hated and misunderstood by so many. People that have never met you. But I don't think it has anything to do with you. People hated you from the beginning because of what you represented as an extension of Ian. Him maturing and changing, they feel betrayed by him and you are their scapegoat. It sucks that people won't just move on and accept the change, especially after years. The only thing that really matters is how you guys feel about each other, and remembering as much as possible that everything you read online is just noise. It's not real. It's a few unwell people that obsess over you, and if you ever met them in real life, you'd know their opinion is worth exactly nothing to you. Love you guys," showing that Anisa also hearted this comment. And just for context, back then in 2024, Beazle posts Anisa's reply to this H3 post where she says, "We love you, Ethan. Thank you so much for taking the time to write this. Really, you have no idea how much it means to me. You and Hila are such strong people and just looking at you two push through really helps me. So to have you comment this is really important to me." And then fast forward back to 2025 yesterday, Kaceytron replied to Anisa by saying, "The dehumanization that happens towards you as a woman in content creation is unreal. Men we work alongside are cheering Alligator Auschwitz, affiliated with S-Pests and R-ists, making jokes about children drowning, etc. But God forbid I react to a video everyone reacted to." And Anisa replies, "It's insane. The witch burning is out of control and it's so insane that it feels like it's somehow gotten worse. Like, I don't remember it being this bad in 2014, but maybe I just have rose-colored glasses. We are like the elders of the streaming world now." And Kaceytron replies, "Well, a certain someone is rallying the incel troops behind him because it's all he has left, so why not target women like you, me, Denims, Frogan, Taylor Lorenz, who have been universally hated and borderline stalked by these incel freaks for years?" And Alyssa Marcant replies, "Can we get in a group chat with Taylor Lorenz and Denims and Frogan? I think we gotta start our own coven." And Anisa replies, "I'm down. I want a coven." Sip and Red replies to Kaceytron by saying, "Can you post proof of you being harassed by Ethan?" And Anisa Joma replies, "Your reply is proof." And Kaceytron replies to Sip and Red by saying, "I know you incels aren't very smart and lack basic reading comprehension, so let me explain it to you. Right now, Ethan Klein is specifically targeting women like me, Anisa, Taylor, Denims, Frogan, because we are universally hated by the extremely vocal screeching incel demographic, you. He chose us as the main target of his smear campaigns because he knew thousands of incel losers would jump on board despite there being no actual logic behind it, just out of their pure hatred of women. If this were really about copyright or not reacting hard enough, he would have sued Asmongold and XQ QC as well. And Sip and Red replies, but didn't he go for Sean to show he wasn't, then you threw the racism card in his face since he wasn't fitting your narrative? And Kaceytron says, yeah, so true. It's not like a vocally far leftist black man isn't also a target of the incel demographic. Great point, moron incel. Ethan Klein then screenshots this reaction of Anisa saying that Sip and Red's reply is proof that she is harassed by Ethan, captioning it, compelling stuff. Back to the original post, Why Are We Here replies to Anisa by saying, I think this just makes you look worse, no? You backstabbed one of the few people who defended you just because he had beef with other people. And EVP replies, the beef in question was that he was losing his audience to them because he couldn't stop defending a genocide. And Why Are We Here replies, in my honest opinion, everyone sucks. I don't like the Hassan orbiters escalating situations such as the CPS call. I don't like Ethan's crash outs. And I don't like how Ian and Anisa ruined a non-political charity event by being political. I think Dad said it best. This is all just high school drama. Mario Master replies to Anisa by saying, man, that guy sounds like an amazing friend caring for another friend. Would be a shame if he was backstabbed by a scammer and her husband. Ruben Delight replies to Anisa by saying, incredible. The minute he is the one that feels betrayed, he immediately believes everyone was right about you all along. It's so transparently misogynistic and hypocritical, it's crazy. Then Ethan Klein himself caught wind of this post by Anisa and screenshotted it and posted it on his Instagram story, where he replies saying, all you're showing is how much I cared and wanted to defend and see the best in my friends. The prevailing narrative at the time was that you guys were terrible people, not to be trusted, but I wasn't going to turn on my friends, even if it meant getting shit for standing by you. Obviously, a lot has changed since then, and I've learned a lot about you, things that I was purposely avoiding because I wanted to see the best in you. And when I was down and out, when you had the opportunity to stand by me, you punched me in the guts as hard as you could. You chose a short-term gain over a decade-long friendship. You dropped the content cop when I was live. You excused the CPS call. You laughed about the skulls. You accused me of hallucinating anti-Semitism. You crossed every single line there was. Ultimately, no matter how good of a friend I was, you still fucked me over the first chance you got. You think this makes me look like a hypocrite, but it just makes you look like a giant piece of shit, which you are. He then continues posting saying, but thanks for finally unpinning Kate's video, you callous, self-obsessed, narcissistic piece of shit. And in response to this, Yeet tweets out that the wife of iDubbbz's ex-trainer, the one that was featured in Anisa's old pin post, says thank you to Ethan and calls out Anisa for finally unpinning the tweets that included her husband, where it's her Instagram account, the 12-year-old bride, screenshotting this post that we just read from Ethan, saying thank you H3H3. Kyrip Nerd then posts these on the H3H3 Productions subreddit with the title New Ethan Stories, and 3mouth Payday replies, I'm happy she changed her pinned tweet, but this is just so embarrassing for her. Like, she has to be doing it to stay relevant. I don't see how that tweet would benefit her at all. And Blard Vandalay replies, what was the pinned tweet? And it must be Love 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 says, it was a video from boxing practice with Ian's coach who specifically asked her to unpin it, which she never did. Spooky Stories replies, I remember Ethan getting a ton of shit defending her. He replied to someone criticizing her for past clips. Ethan said something along the lines of Ian knowing her better than people on the internet. There was a reply saying that Ethan's career blew up based on criticism of people he didn't know online. This was after people started digging stuff up on her, calling her a succubus, and finding the Holocaust experiments clip. Ein's Nico replies, he's 100% right. Anyone without their head up their asses gets this. Kino Casino had like a 6-hour iDubbbz/H3 catch-up last night, and despite calling Ethan Lex Juther for going supervillain over the Shonda Black thing over break, they got it right away. Ethan was being an actual friend, when it was not an easy time to be friends publicly with these two, and he got stabbed in the back. There's no lower scum on earth than someone who would do that. For what? Clout? That sure worked out for them. Anisa then screenshots this Ethan Klein reply that we looked at, in response to it herself by saying, hi Ethan, the whole point is that you are accusing me of things that my husband and or other people have done, which contradicts everything you wrote in this comment. Hope that helps. And Golgi Apparatus replies, Anisa defends her husband challenge. Difficulty? Impossible. And Anisa Joma says, Ian's a very smart and capable person who made a 7 million viewed video he's proud of. I think he will be okay. And Golgi says, so you think it's okay he laughed at the skulls and defended the CPS call? And Anisa replies, this is the waffle pancake thing, bud. And Mega Zero replies, it's not. Great try at deflection. Back to Anisa's original post, Pickletime replies, take at least 34% of the blame, please. Wound replies to Anisa by saying, she's the happiest she's ever been, guys. She then makes a separate post saying, I'm once again asking what my ultimate sin was aside from being married to the man who made the content cop on The King. Ethan doesn't know us as well as he claims, especially not me. He's as knowledgeable about our private life as the average viewer. I have never mentioned a CPS. I didn't appear in the content cop. I have only ever replied to Ethan privately with kindness despite him spam texting us deranged nonsense. His inference that I have any control over Ian's choices is from watching SlopTuber's parasocial ramblings. And Scavlock replies, you literally filmed the content cop. And Anisa says, I did not, lol. And Scavlock replies with this picture of both of them flipping off the camera when they went over to Hassan's house for the content cop. And Dreamcat replies, so? How is this remotely worse than Ethan shit-talking them for weeks? And Half Pint Mobster replies, nice goalpost movement, you waste of space. Back to the original post, Utred replies, you've been nothing but a perfect sweet angel. And Anisa Joma replies, amen. And Potato Squirrel says, drugs? Bubble Boy replies to Anisa by saying, throwing your husband under the bus in an ultimate attempt to regain popularity is so on brand. Barbie replies to Anisa by saying, you're a woman who doesn't agree with him. That's really all it is. He can't possibly defend attacking you relentlessly and barely even mentioning Ian at this point. He knows it's easier to get people on board to attack women, and his career is built off of hate campaigns. And Fortnite Enjoyer replies, people tried to take his kids from him, and Ethan's career is built off hate campaigns? And Barbie says, oh lord. Bro went on a fucking poop monologue and then soy-faced when someone called fucking CPS. What did he expect? Doesn't make it right, but let's use our heads for a second. John Calvin Slater replies, it is not normal for people to call CPS on content creators. And Barbie replies, no one said it is actually. Even said it wasn't right for someone to do so. And John says, you literally said what did he expect, implying that it is. You also said Ethan only hates Anisa because she's a woman. But the truth is, she sided with these CPS calls. Ethan hates Ian for the same reasons. And Barbie replies, yes, if you go on a live stream to tens of thousands of people and depict your house to be full of dog shit and spreading bacterial infections, someone is probably going to take it in earnest and think the kids are in an unfit home. That's really obvious. Still wasn't okay. Ethan then replies to these posts by Anisa on his Instagram story again, where he says, is your defense really I had nothing to do with it? Okay, sure. Let's examine that. 1. You have been involved in every content cop. 2. You were at Hassan's house during the filming of the sketch flipping off the camera. 3. Ian literally cites you in the video. Anisa is half Lebanese and half Irish, so she understands Israeli propaganda and oppression. 4. You've been making snide remarks during this entire debacle, i.e., quote, inbred. 5. You scolded dad for leaving me a nice comment. 6. You argued with Harley BTS about Zionism. So did Ian, where he admitted to not even knowing what that means. 7. You were caught in Millhouse's DMs. 8. You were caught in Denim's chat. 9. Your private Twitter account got leaked of you talking shit. 10. Ian knows at least to shut the fuck up, but you're the only fool who continually engages with me, so obviously I'm talking to you, not Ian. The only thing this point proves is, again, how willing you are to throw Ian under the bus. I had nothing to do with it. Go after Ian, not me. Give me a break. And then Anisa screenshots this and responds to it on Twitter by saying, what a pathetic list. This is his justification for eternal harassment? Privately discussing Zionism and showing up in my friend's Twitch chat. Lord Yoshi replies, are you going to cover him on stream? And Anisa says, no, I'm going to play TFT and Animal Crossing. Atuka replies, are you going to talk about Ian's IBS again while you're at it? Alejandro replies to the original post by Anisa by saying, why are y'all controlling your fighters, telling them who they can and can't talk to after you can't manage an event and drop out? Y'all fucking weird AF. And Anisa replies, it was my job to communicate internally, numbnuts. And Alejandro says, but you didn't do that, and that didn't answer my question. Why do you feel the need to control your fighters after you drop out and crash an event? Big E replies to Anisa by saying, was it your job when you messaged dad Nathan Barnett that he was donating to your enemies? I'm pretty sure y'all tried to wash your hands of Creator Clash before that. Doja Spice replies to Anisa by saying, feels like you're leaving out most of his points. And again, Barbie replies to Anisa by saying, Ian knows at least to shut the fuck up. So you're supposed to deal with his endless harassment and his legion of idiots quietly. Got it. Why can't he shut the fuck up? And Jack replies, it's unfortunately his job to talk total shit all day every day. And Barbie replies, well, remember when he used to talk shit about dumbasses like the Courtring and Keem? Why can't he do that? It's 24/7 personal beefs now. It's exhausting and bad content at minimum. And Jack says, it's very disappointing. I used to enjoy H3 back in the day. Classic case of an unchecked ego and not being able to admit you're wrong, IMO. Similar to a lot of TERFs or other bigots. Ethan then responds to Anisa on his Instagram story where he says, that's not what the list says. The list is right there. You can read it. You can't lie about what's on the list because it's right there. Have you read it? It's right there. Then we get into a little more Creator Clash drama where Anisa quote tweets Ludwig talking about Creator Clash. Now we did play this clip in the first part of this series with Creator Clash cancellation, but we'll just play it again for context. This is what Ludwig had to say about Creator Clash, weighing in on the situation and saying it's not Ethan Klein's fault that it failed.
This has been dead for a while and like on life support. You know, this has been in a vegetative state. So it is, I think, ultimately the right call that they canceled it. Because if they had gone through with it, I think it would have done so bad. Ethan Klein did it. Okay, I'm not trying to be controversial here, but I do think iDubbbz posting the content cop was one of the dumbest moves ever. Straight up. That was crazy. I think it was not considerate of how many other people would be dragged into the situation who don't give a fuck and just want to fight. You know, make that video when Creator Clash isn't happening, I would say. That makes no sense to me. It did not help the event whatsoever. It hurt the event. Yeah, I mean, no one went to bat but Hassan for him, but like also Hassan's audience isn't watching fucking boxing events. What is that? That's not, I don't know. At some point you have to realize you're operating a business, and I mean, you have to make the call, like what's more important, is the business or you know, making the videos you want to make, which is like your own call to make. But anyway, I'm kind of sad about it. I won't lie.
And just quickly before we read Anisa's reply, Ethan also posted this clip on his story, captioning it, "Thank you, Ludwig. I appreciate your willingness to say it like it is, even if you catch shit for it. You've already defended me more than Ian and Anisa." Anisa then quote tweets Count Me Out, posting this by saying, "Okay, I'm just gonna come out and clear something up. Ian won't be happy I'm doing this, but I think we need more transparency. Ticket sales were abysmal before the content cop. Promotion wasn't going how we had hoped. Charity wasn't getting the numbers we wanted. We were promised a lot of things. A lot of things didn't happen. I take responsibility for trying to do it again. We shouldn't have, but I think we made the best out of the situation. The charity got $225,000, and a lot of that was due to the buzz around Hassan supporting the charity. Charity got money, the fighters got paid. Things didn't work out. The content cop wasn't some sudden turning point. The interest in Creator Clash 3 was low." Ethan Klein responds to this post by Anisa by saying, "You are lying. Lena was never reimbursed." And Bearded Patriot replies, "So you're admitting you made the content cop to bail yourselves out of a situation you put yourselves in. Wow, that is insane behavior." Good Chemicals replies with this clip from Ian and Anisa's podcast talking about if they regret the decision to make the content cop.
You know, yeah. Also, I just want to say, like, we don't regret it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like,
I just want to make that very clear. Like, this stepping away from the company is not because we regret what we've done. We needed to do what we did. I'm very proud of what you've done. I'm very proud of, you know.
I am too.
Back to Anisa's original post, quote tweeting the Ludwig clip, Zombot replies, "Gee, it's almost like y'all tanking the last one is why so many people were saying you doing a third one was a stupid idea. The content cop only made things worse." And Anisa replies, "Content cop didn't make things worse. Me choosing to try it again was the mistake. We had a lot of people in our ear promising things that just weren't delivered." And Zombot replies, "Ian was still the face of the event when the content cop dropped. Do you not understand how that created bad PR? It tied the events to a holy war, which is part of why Harley left to begin with." And Dominic replies, "Most people don't know who the fuck Harley is. They knew him as that guy from that food thing a decade ago. No one gives a fuck that his musty, pedophilic ass dropped out except for people with axes to grind against Ian and Anisa." And Zombot replies, "He was one of the main headliners, you tard." And Dominic replies, "And the event wasn't selling. So he clearly wasn't drawing any attention, you fucking moron." And the Power of Myth replies, "Wait, you think the event wasn't selling because of Harley? Y'all are crazy and can't take any blame." JRT replies to Anisa's original post by saying, "Isn't this kind of an admission that Ian just made the content cop purely for views then? I thought this was Ian responding to very serious allegations and issues." And Anisa replies, "No, it just didn't stop him from doing what he believed was right." And Wiener says, "Oh, damn, so he's just stupid then." Dappy replies, "Damn. So everyone saying Ethan ruined a charity event are wrong actually." Anisa then follows up her post by saying, "To clarify, I'm saying Ian won't be happy to make it clear that this decision of making this public is my own and not his. I'm taking responsibility for this statement. Sorry for poor wording." Nicholas Yorio screenshots these posts by Anisa and captions them by saying, 88% of your additional separate fundraiser was raised in a drama livestream because Ethan Klein exposed Hassan Piker for supporting terrorism. Creator Clash 3 had no charity component and sent 0 $0 to kids with cancer again. I hope this helps. The Tiltify link is as relevant to Creator Clash 3 as your husband's pathetic self-flagellation charity stream he did last time to try and send a few bucks to the charities after Creator Clash 2 was a total failure. You guys are charity terrorists and cancer won. Ethan Klein also responds to Anisa's post on his Instagram story where he says, terrible partner energy. Don't you think you should decide together what you want to say first? Or are you admitting you're in charge and his opinion is unimportant? Why even say this, even if it's true? It makes you look brave and him cowardly. You've turned humiliation into an art form. Mr. Goofs and Gaffs also posted this clip from Ethan Klein on his podcast with the caption, Ethan Klein claims he will never be done harassing iDubbbz's wife, Anisa. Why does bro focus more on the women in his harassment? iDubbbz made the content cop, but he's threatening Ian's wife? The voice crack while trying to be intimidating was,
You swung at me and you fucking missed big time. And guess what?
Yes.
I've never been betrayed like this in my whole life by someone I cared about this closely. And then you had the audacity to come and make another video and justify CPS call. You endorse snark. You live snark. Again, you are elevating disgusting, hateful people who have spent their time harassing me and my family. Look at me. This is me. I win, you lose. And you will continue to lose. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm not done. I'll never be done. I will never be done with you. That's how much you've betrayed me and how much I want you to know how much you lose and I win. Do you understand, Anisa? And I'm not even talking to iDubbbz anymore. He's insignificant. He's gone. Anisa, you're the one. You're coming center stage. You're going to start streaming now. I want you to understand something.
Yes.
I am never going to be done. I will never be even.
What does that mean?
Talking about them, being interested in them, being, I'm fascinated by everything they're doing, right? The streaming, the whatever, the events.
You just mean you're never done making fun of them?
Never.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. There'll never be a point where I'm going to be like, I'm just saying, and this is for the audience too, because I want you guys to know, there will never be a point when I will say to myself, okay, it's time to move on from this. I want you to know that. You dropped that fucking video when I was live. And you thought you were cute. You thought you were clever. You really had me. You came at me with the laziest slop, the shittiest slop, that you got my haters running around the internet talking about I'm right and you're wrong. You have managed to galvanize support for me, which is something I've not been able to do for myself, so thank you.
As Marsol replies, probably because Anisa ruined iDubbbz's life and he's not trying to attack the victim, I don't know. And Goofs and Gaff says, go outside bro, you don't know them. Are you personally involved with their relationship? Giving off stalker energy. Anisa herself then quote tweets this clip by saying, I don't care bitch, join the club of ugly out of touch losers. And Taylor Lorenz replies with a bunch of heart emojis, which Anisa replies with heart emojis back. Fuya replies, he's so weird. And Anisa Joma replies with crying emojis. Sarah Spooks replies, bro needs a lobotomy. And Anisa says, stat. And Ethan Klein Productions parody account says, lobotomize these nuts. Willie Maxwell screenshots this tweet and posts it with the caption, their fighters are in worse financial situations because of them. Charities got screwed. Also, for some reason, supported false CPS calls. But ignore all that. Just call everyone ugly. And Froggy Fresh replies, everyone who doesn't like me is ugly. Nicholas Diorio tweets out iDubbbz's 2026 existence poll with the options divorce arc or polyamorous arc, and with 8,205 votes, polyamorous arc is winning with 53%. Willie Maxwell replies, poly, then divorce. Eats tweets out this clip with the caption, Ethan predicts Anisa will divorce iDubbbz within a year.
So anyway, so this is, I think, the breadcrumb she's laying. She's going to leave him. She's going to leave him within a year.
From this post?
Yes.
You're determining
I've been
that?
right about everything else I've said so far.
I mean, unfortunately, that is somewhat true.
Within a year, Anisa is going to leave Ian.
I mean, it could be.
She is starting to lay the
really not
breadcrumbs.
I mean, I guess that's not the biggest stretch. They don't seem like happy people, you know?
Well, no, she's
Cakes aside.
She is a complete, and I hate this phrase. I've avoided using this the whole time, but like it sucks to admit that in this case, everything people seem to have thought and said about her is apparently true. And she is a succubus, and she's gotten everything she can get out of Ian. And he's a husk of a man. I mean, you can see it. He's basically she's puppeteering him. And, you know, I guess in one final Hail Mary to try to ingratiate herself to Hassan's circle for her upcoming streaming career, she has completely destroyed any credibility that Ian has left. Within a year, she's going to divorce Ian. And you will continue to see breadcrumb posts from her like this. Oh, Ian didn't remember my birthday. Man, it's like I'm trying to compliment him. Oh, he's so sweet. But also the subtext is that he didn't remember my birthday. And he couldn't even buy me this fucking cheap, weird ass cake.
Wrinkless Brain replies, what a nice guy. He's saving their marriage. They'll stay together just so Ethan is incorrect. Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives Kiko, Salsout, and Coldest Bandito. Thank you guys so much for the support. And I'll see you all in the next episode.